Hello, hello, and welcome everybody. This is our end of the year training program. I cannot believe this. It's the end of the year already. How did this happen? How did we get to December already? I don't even want to know. Okay, so I'm going to hop into this today. We've got some people here with us live, but most of you guys I know because I have been in this community since forever, um, are watching me on the replay today. And that's perfectly fine because everybody's going to be watching this anyway. And hopefully, you might stop and start this a couple of times if there's something that comes up for you. If there's something that you want to screenshot, if there's something that you want to hold on to with regards to um, how we're how I'm presenting something, or is there a list of a checklist or something that I'm going to do? Feel free to do anything that you can, because what we're going to be doing today is more than just talking about like things like your social media followers. We're actually going to review what happened with your business this year and how you can take this information and use it to plan for next year. All right. So, yes, I have a dog here with me. Okay, this is Cooper, by the way, and I am Penny. For those of you who have just met me, since 2010, I have been teaching. I teach at the National Entrepreneur Center in the Orlando area, which means I have worked with hundreds and hundreds of business owners. And when I say that in the way, it's not because I'm trying to tell you that I've worked with so many people. It's more about that I want you to know that the conversations that we're having today are not about somebody saying, oh, it's just for coaches, or oh, this is just for people who sell on Etsy. This is for all types of businesses. This is for people who have a brick and mortar store. This is for people who are selling online. This is for people who are selling services. So when I say I'm talking to hundreds of business owners, it has everything to do with the fact that the work that we're going to go through today, the things that we're going to talk about today, can apply to your business. And speaking of business, yes, I too am the owner of businesses. I have two businesses. I've got a content marketing consultant business, which I've had for about 25 years. And of course, there's the Create Your Business Marketing with the Marketing Strategy Collective, which is how you showed up here today. All right, let's jump right into this. So, what we're talking about today, we're going to talk about why planning matters. But I want to talk about it because it's not the way you think it is. And when we understand what planning can do and how it can help us, we're going to learn how to do things like how to discover what's driving results, how to find what's wasting your time, how to develop your focus for 2026. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through some strategies so that you can use what I've talked about so that you can start taking this information to plan your marketing. And that's what I was talking about before when I said, hitting the pause button or something like that, especially when I hit that strategy section. There might be something that you're going to go, hold on a second. Let me take a look at this and let me figure this out, or brainstorm, or whatever you're going to do. Use this as a training tool. This is not just me listing off a whole bunch of I was about to say a bad word, a whole bunch of stuff on a PowerPoint presentation. So use this as a way to train yourself into actually doing a real review of your business. Because when we talk about 2026, when we talk about planning, why does this even matter? What's the whole point about this? And a lot of people I've noticed, they kind of hold off doing something like that because, and I use the word judgment, because it's about, I don't want to see my numbers. I don't want to see how bad I did. I don't want to see what happened this year. Ugh. And then you start judging yourself. And this is not about that. What it is, it's about understanding what happened. It's understanding that if things didn't go the way they didn't go, or the way you wanted them to, why? Because you can't change what you don't understand. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to go through these steps so that you can start to understand this. So, as I said before, I really think that a lot of people, a lot of business owners seem to get this idea of planning and they do this the wrong way. And what they do is they get out some papers or a Google Doc or, an app or something like that, and they start listing out all of their vanity metrics. And what I mean by vanity metrics are your follower numbers, are your impression numbers, are your, click-through numbers. And you say, oh, look at all these great numbers. Yay. And you move on. You don't even take a look at the data. And you're looking at these things and you're looking at trends and the marketing messages instead of what's working for your business. So instead of just thinking about how you're going to fill up your content calendar moving into the next year, I want you to do this in a way that you have a purpose and that what you're doing with your content, what you're doing with your marketing gives you a call to action, and you actually start from the place of understanding where your goals are and moving through that way, because your marketing review isn't just about the data. It's a significant part of it. And don't get me wrong, there's a whole section where we're going to be talking about data. But this data, the reason of this data, the point behind the data is to give you clarity. Because none of us are going to be able to predict what's going to happen in 2026. But we can define how we're going to show up with our business. And this time that we're doing this right now, this time that we're actually spending to plan for our business, is our opportunity to take this information of what we've learned from this year and to focus our time and our energy. Because when we're doing our planning, it's not about how we can go into January with every single post written. It's about understanding when we get into January that we know what's happening in January and February and March and April and May. We have a direction, and our business has a purpose and goals that we're working towards. So how do we do this? We start with this idea of business goals, not just follower numbers. Because when you try to plan your marketing, a lot of times people say, I want to do a whole video series where I want to teach this. Or I would like to do a challenge, a 30-day challenge to help people do this. Or I've got this great product, so I'm going to do a whole bunch of behind the scenes stuff about this great product. And so I really just want to start, getting my branding out there. That's great content. That is really great engagement ideas. But is that a business goal? A video series? That's not a business goal. We think about it from that place. Our business goal is where everything starts, like the foundation, and then everything goes from that. So instead of us saying, what should I post? Instead, we need to be saying, what do I need to build next year? So what we do is we want to zoom out before we come and zoom in. And your business is always reflecting about where you want to go, not where you think you should be doing, but where is it that your business wants to go? We start with that vision and we work backwards. How are we going to get there? And your marketing is going to evolve. And that's the other thing that I want to keep in mind too. I want you to keep in mind when it comes to this planning stuff. Planning is not set in concrete. What it is it's the stepping stones. It's a path. And if we realize as we're moving down the path with our planning that things need to change and things need to shift, because we were going to be doing this in our, maybe in our quarterly check-ins, we'll be telling what's happening. Our marketing evolves because our business is evolving. The economy might be evolving. Our industry could be evolving. So our marketing will continue to evolve. But because we have this plan of action, it doesn't take us so far off the course that we're starting all over again. What we're doing is we find ways to veer and evolve and keep moving forward. And that's what we're doing with this business planning. I want you to think about it from that place. Because if we start from the idea of our business goals, what do you want your business to look like at 2026? Do you want more clients or different clients? I want to stop on that. That's a really good point, because here's an interesting thought that I want to share with you. More clients is a great goal. Different clients is understanding that maybe your product or services is not working with this target audience that you thought that they were. And maybe what you need to do is start contacting or reaching and connecting with a different type of client, a different type of target demographic. So maybe that's what your business is like, that you're moving into another growth sector. So that could be a business goal. Obviously, revenue goals are a business goal too. Setting up automated systems and processes, something to be more efficient with your time. Another goal could be being consistent with your content creation, a visibility plan. Those are the types of things I'm talking about. So we think about our goals, we look about our financial and our growth goals, our offers, our products, our services. How are they going to help us reach this revenue goal? Think about your conversions. For those of you who work with clients, let's say you have a group program. I need 12 clients for a group program. How many people need to be on my email list for me to be able to get these 12 clients? Do I need 100 email subscribers? So now my goal is not just to convert these people into my group program. I now have to think about the 100 email subscribers that I'm going to get. So the goal now becomes the action steps to get those email subscribers and then to get them to convert into the group program. So do you see how the goal influences our marketing? What offers are we doing? Is there something that we need to improve? Is there something that needs to go away? Are we launching something? You cannot plan your marketing if you do not know what you're selling and when you're doing this. So these are important things when we think about our marketing as we're moving forward and how these are connected to our business goals. So let's start out with that idea of the business goal. I want you to think about how you can define your one primary, there we go. Somebody's coming in. Your one primary goal. What is your one major goal that you're going to be doing here? Think about it from that place. Why does this goal matter at this stage? If you're launching a program, is it because what you're launching is going to take your business to connect to that new marketing sector that you're looking for? I want you to think about it from that place. What is the bigger outcome that this goal will make possible? And I want you to think past the idea of saying, I get to pay my bills every month. That's a really great goal, but make it bigger than that. Maybe the bigger outcome is I can finally take that vacation that I've been wanting to take. And so this is going to help me get that money. I can finally stop working that side hustle and make this business my full-time business. What is the bigger outcome? It can't just be to make more money. So I want you to think about your primary goal, and I want you to think about why this goal matters and what is the bigger outcome. And think about how your marketing is going to directly support this. All right. So let me give you some examples here. So if we're thinking about our primary goal, it's going back to the idea of launching a course. So my marketing would go to grow my email list, right? So maybe another goal is I've decided that my offers are really great. People are signing up. I'm going to start raising my prices. So my marketing goal would then be to show more expertise, case studies, and testimonials. You see how this works? So we think about what our business goals and we see how our marketing goals are going to support them. So another idea here, if you want to sell out more one-to-one spots, this is once you grow your coaching business. You can create demand by sharing client stories, thinking about it from that place. So if we think about it from every idea of our business goal, our marketing goals are supporting them. So we come from that place, and that's why it's so important that we start with this goal versus I'm going to do a video series on this XYZ trading because it just sounds so cool. You know, that's a great idea, but would it support those business goals? Is it supporting launching the program? Is it supporting you reaching a different customer base? Is it supporting it? And that's the thing I think that we get so tangled up in. We get so tangled up in these specifics and all of these little minutia details and things like that. But when we're planning like this, the end of the year and moving into the next year, we're not looking at tiny, we're zooming out. We're zooming out before we can zoom in. So I want you to keep zooming out here. So if we've got that business goal, right? Whatever that business goal is going to be. Oh, why my hair is being weird today. We then go secondary goals. We think about secondary goals, and I say 3 supporting goals. It could be 2. It could be 1. Don't stress yourself if you can't come up with 3 supporting goals. If it's only 2 or if it's only 1, that's perfectly fine. But there's going to be like sub goals, things that need to happen. And I'll use this as an example. Let's talk about the coaching. Okay, so let's see. Launching a course. Okay, so I'm a coach, I'm launching a course. My business goal is launching this course because it's going to give me influence. It's going to show my authority. It's going to help me grow my business. And so part of this launching this course is also allowing me then to work one-on-one with people. So my sub goal now is supporting it is finding one-to-one clients that I'm going to be working with. And this could support the group goal, because people would come in. I could still use it as the same funnel. It doesn't look like the same funnel. It is the same funnel. So I want you to think about it from that place. What supports this? What are the things that I need to do? Going back to the launching, another secondary goal would be for launching this program is growing my email list. That's a secondary goal. What do I need to do to grow my email list? So it's all of these things that get put into it, but the email list, the one-on-one work, all of this supports the first goal of launching the program, right? So you see how each thing supports it, but I don't want you to think about it and then a fourth thing and a fifth thing and a sixth thing and a seventh. Da, 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 da. This is not what we're doing here. That's why I want you to say three maximum. You can do many things and you can focus on many things, but you cannot go deeper into them when you're trying to do 20 things at once. Your focus gets off, your intention, your purpose gets off, because that's also the point when we start pulling at strings, looking at trends, um, saying, AI, do this for me, do that for me, and we get off our path. So our secondary goals are going to support our business goals. So I want you to think about it from that place right there. So it's a visibility growth. It's like systems and processes. These are the things that we're talking about. Business building goals that you want to lean into. These are the secondary goals that I'm referring to. And they're going to be different for everybody's business because everybody's business goal is going to be different. So I want to make sure that I'm clear about that. I don't want you thinking that, okay, Penny just told me I have to launch a program. I don't want to launch a program. That's not what I'm saying. I just want you to know that going into this. Okay. So let's define this idea of your 2026 focus. I've already started showing you how we can connect the idea of our business goals to our marketing goals. And this is where the strategy meets action. This is where all of the things that we want to happen become real plans that we implement. And what you want to do is you want to make sure that you're linking these goals to these marketing activities. If not, they just feel like, grow my email list. Okay, yeah, grow my email list. That sounds really good. But what's the measurable outcome? And marketing is this bridge that takes our business goals and finds a way to connect them to what we're trying to achieve. It makes it happen. That's what marketing does. Oh, what happened here? I locked up. Oh, sorry about that. I think I just locked up. All right. Sorry about that. Um, so let's keep going here. I want to give you some specifics here when I'm talking about. And quite honestly, I ended up doing this throughout most of this presentation today. I found myself telling you something and then wanting to give you specific examples of it so that you could clearly understand what I'm talking about. So what I want to do here is I want to go through a couple of examples here for you and show you what I'm talking about. So let's connect this business goal to this marketing goal. So if your business goal is to launch, let's say you want to have 20 students. So the marketing goal begins growing my email list by 30%. How do I grow my email list by 30%? I think about the marketing actions, creating a lead magnet that's going to get people in there. I could host a workshop and I could promote my lead magnet. I can nurture these new subscribers through the email sequence. I could share behind the scenes content. I could think about all the things that I'm going to do to get people on my email list. And when they're on my email list, how do I nurture them to get them into the course? That is how this works. All right. So for those of you who are not launching a course, because I realize I keep using that as an example, I will use another example. Let's say your business goal is to sell 10% more products. I would definitely, say grow your email list again. But the other thing you want to do is you want to bring more people to your website so that they can see the products. They can learn more about them, see the sales pages. You can talk to your customers. So your marketing goal is to grow your email list, but it's also to increase your website traffic on your sales pages and improve your customer repeat rate. Well, that was hard to say. So obviously a lead magnet's going to be a huge thing that you can do for your email list. But I also want you to think about your website. So this is a different scenario. Again, thinking about how this goal is different and the marketing is going to be different. It's going to support it. This is going to be more about your website. How can I get more people to come to my website? SEO based blog post. I could do Google Ads. That's another thing that I could be doing to drive people more to my website. I'm thinking about how I'm going to bring people to the sales page. That now becomes the marketing action that supports the marketing goal of increasing my website traffic, which supports the business goal of selling 10% more products. See how that works? See how we can keep going. All right. So let's keep going here. Let's start talking about this review. I want to get into some stuff now too, because it is important to look at our numbers. But I also want to keep in mind that sometimes we just want to look at our follower numbers and we just want to look at that vanity data. And I want to make sure that you're getting more from your data than just looking at numbers and feeling bad about maybe I didn't, the followers were down or they didn't like my videos and all that stuff. That's not what this is about. This is about actually looking at these numbers and understanding what they mean. And for those of you who are not signed up to join us, we still have space at the implementation planning session next Tuesday, where we're actually going to take everything we talked about today and talk specific about your business. There's actually a link in the chat right now if you want more information. All right, let's get straight into this right now. Let me move this back up here. All right, because you're in my way. Let's track. I want to talk about tracking what matters because I think that it's not, I know this. I don't just think it, I know it. One of the biggest mistakes that I see in marketing reviews is that people are just get out a piece of paper, get out a Google Doc or an Excel spreadsheet or whatever it is, and just start, how many people followed them on Facebook, how many people followed them on TikTok, how many people on, Instagram, and what are my top posts, and yay, okay, video views, that kind of stuff, because it's easy. Those numbers are easy. But the goal isn't to collect these numbers. It's to look at them with insights because you don't just need this data, you need better questions. And I want to sidetrack this just a minute here before I move on to the next slide. Almost every social platform now is engaged with some form of AI in it. I know that when I do my YouTube monthly check-in or whatever the word, review or something like that, there's a little button up there that you can push and you can ask it, why did more people find me? How did more people find me? Or whatever, however they're phrasing it. And so one of the things is I clicked on it and it came back with the answer of organically my titles are popping up. So that told me that I needed to make sure that I continue using more SEO based type of titles that people are looking for. But this is what I'm talking about. It wasn't just the number that I pulled up that I was able to see the number of people that were watching my videos or how many, subscribers I increased. What I ended up doing was I ended up looking at the insight. I looked at the insight. I asked a better question, not just how many people found me, but how did they find me? Because that's an important piece that we want to keep in mind. Every number has a purpose. What is this metric trying to tell me? If we look at an email click-through rate, it means that people are interested and they want to learn more and they want to see that sales page. They want to read that blog post. They want to watch that, listen to that video or whatever. A conversion rate on a sales page means people get it. People want it. There's message clarity. If somebody's buying something again and again and again, a repeat purchase, that means that they're loyal to your company. That means they're loyal to your product. That means they're loyal to your services. If the metric itself does not connect to a decision that you need to make, it's just noise. So it's great for me to know the number of subscribers that I have on YouTube. Could be called noise. But what's important for me and what I connect to a decision is how did they find me so that I now can make better decisions on my SEO-based titles to have more people find my content. You see how that works? Make sure that it connects back to your goals, connects back to what you are doing. So if your goal is to sell more products, you want to track metrics that show the buyer behavior, not just engagement, not just saying, how many times have you scrolled through something a social platform and you're like, yeah, that's cute. And you hit that like button. Well, you just hit an engagement on something. And there's somebody behind the scenes that just saw that like and thought, yay, engagement. Except you were like, me. That's engagement, right? But that's not buyer behavior. I in no way was moved to take action. So when we're thinking about tracking selling our products or services for that matter, we track metrics about buyer behavior, like site traffic to product pages, checkout completion rates, add to cart rate, email click through on product offers. Those are specific actions that somebody has taken to show that they are interested in buying your product. That's what you should be tracking. You see what I mean now? So, how these metrics connected back to my goals. All right, let's do this again. If your goal is to grow your email list, we start doing metrics on website traffic for the lead magnet, conversion rates on the opt in form. You can have that information in your email programs. You can also see this on Google Analytics on people clicking through it. You can look at where the subscribers are coming from. Are they coming from Instagram? Are they coming from YouTube? Are they coming from LinkedIn? Your engagement on a post with the freebie link. That's a completely different than just me going, meh, and clicking a like button. If somebody saw your freebie and then they said, oh my gosh, I've been looking all over for this kind of thing, or this is exactly what I needed, that's a great engagement. But then they took action. And then they clicked on it, went to the sales page, or clicked on it, went to the freebie page, and downloaded it. That's engagement where they actually took action. So that's somebody now getting on your email list. So do you see how these specific metrics are connected to this goal of the email list? All right, keep going here. If your goal is to sign up more clients this month, right? You can start checking metrics like discovery calls. You know, how many people are booking it? How many people are inquiring about it? You could check your website traffic to see about people clicking on that work with me page, or do you have a page set up for your discoveries? Think about how you can generate more referrals or testimonials, and that's going to help you generate some leads. Think about your emails, your DMs, all of the communication that you have. Do you get people DMing you a lot on LinkedIn? That could be another metric that you could do. You could actually do a whole LinkedIn strategy of you reconnecting with everybody that's on your list or something like that. And then you can track the metric of how many people that you connected with, how many of these turned into conversations outside of LinkedIn, how many of these moved from, I'd like to know more about your business. Can you just send me some information or send me a link that I can look more about? That's what I mean. So this is how you're going to get new clients. It's going to be doing these kinds of things, and doing these kinds of things is helping us. This is what we're tracking. This is how we know what's working. So if we find that our discovery call bookings or our inquiries are not going, as high as we want them to be, that becomes a secondary marketing goal for us to work on. How can we increase our discovery goals? Our discovery calls. How can we increase the number of people that we're speaking to? And then that becomes the next way that we're using our marketing to reach this business goal. You gotcha? Okay, so your metrics, I had to talk today, is based on your business and how it works, not what somebody else's does. And that's why I wanted to make sure that I had different examples here, because not everybody is working one-on-one with clients. Not everybody's launching a course. Not everybody's growing their email list. So I want you to think about this. Everybody's looking from a different place. Where does your money come from? The business, as a business, where does your money come from? If you're a service provider, when you work with clients like I do, my money comes from people, working with me one-on-one. So they get on a discovery call and they sign a contract. That's the process. If you sell something, they visit a product page, they add to cart, then they purchase. There's all of these things that we do, and we think about these steps that people take. I call it the customer buyer's journey. All of the things that these people do to become a client of ours or a customer of ours, this is where our money comes from. This is how this works. So we look at this from that place of the customer buyer's journey. And we think about the milestones that the customers hit every time that they buy. How do they find you? What do they do before they buy? What do you do that moves them closer to buying? And so if we think about it, all of these steps that happen in the customer journey, these are also marketing goals that we start to do because these marketing goals support the overall goal, right? So I want you to think about all of these things. It's not just about the number of people following you on TikTok. It has everything to do with how we're making money, what our business's goals are, and how we're going to move people through that customer journey and the steps that they have to take. That was a sentence that didn't come out very well. I apologize for that. After I said it, I realized I realized how bad that was. I'm sorry. Scratch that sentence. Sorry. Let me start all over again. Sometimes I do that. I don't mean to do that. My mind is saying all this stuff, but my mouth spits out words and then they don't always come out in the right way. I'm sorry. Okay, let's keep going here. Let's talk about milestones. Let's talk about these kinds of milestones because these are the milestones that go up. And when these things go up, that's when sales start to go up. So let's look at these milestones. Some of them can be, binging blog content. Remember that whole wanting to sell more products? And we talked about creating SEO-based blog posts to get people to your website, another opportunity instead of just coming straight to the product page. They could come in through a blog post page. Tracking your blog post. Maybe they watched a webinar. Maybe they followed you for 30 days for a challenge. They downloaded your freebie. They booked a discovery call. All of these actions can be tracked. And when we think about it from that place, when we look at each one of these things that we're tracking, we call them decision metrics. And these are numbers that help you make decisions. And I wrote here, they're not just numbers that make you feel good. Because to me, that's what a vanity metric is. Hence the words vanity, because it makes us feel good. They're vanity metrics, but they're not decision metrics. And decision metrics are a whole other ballgame. And I think that we should be concentrating more on decision metrics when it comes to these reviews. And something that you should be looking at. Actually, this isn't just something you should look at the end of the year, but look at it every single month. A decision metric is something that's going to show you progress towards your goal. The decision metric helps you decide, are we moving forward? Are we changing? Are we changing this? Are we doing this? Are we moving this? And it tells you when something needs to get fixed. And it directly affects buyer behavior, not these vanity numbers. And I want you to do it that it's simple enough that you can check it every single month. So come from this place of understanding that there's a thing called a decision metric. And the decision metric is going to be different for everybody based on your business and how it affects you making money. So here's another breakdown for you. Your decision metric could look like this. An email click-through rate shows interest and intent. Product page visits, buying behavior. Discovery call bookings shows demand and shows interest, also part of buying behavior. Lead magnet definitely shows list growth, shows interest as well. Repeat purchases shows loyalty. Shows the opportunities to grow your business and things like that. So you see how these are different? And it's going to give you a metric that's going to help you make a decision. Hence the word decision metrics. All right, so let's bring it all together here. I'm going to connect the dots for you. So let's take these idea of this decision metrics, whatever your decision metric. And again, I'm not asking you to make this decision at this moment, right now, what your decision metrics are. I want you to think about this. I want you to think about this. I want you to sit with this because this is one of those things that I think that somebody needs to sit with. Because your decision metrics, especially if you've not been tracking something like this before, if you've not even thought about metrics like this before, this is all going to be really new for you. So I want you to sit with this. I don't want you to message me at the end of this and go, here's my decision metrics. I don't want you to give me an answer right now. I want you to start to connect the dots though. So if we think about it from this place, let's say our lead magnet signups are low. That's a decision metric. And what that means is we fix the opt-in or we offer up a new one. Our discovery call bookings are low. What do we need to do? Take a look at the call to action that's on that page. Is it giving people enough reason to understand why they should even get on a call with us? Is there a nurture sequence that we've created to get people to like maybe they did the lead magnet already, and part of the nurture sequence is if you have some questions and you need some help, you can hop on a discovery call with me. And if I'm looking at my metrics and I'm looking at my email, so maybe I've got an email sequence, a welcome email sequence set up. I've downloaded it. They've downloaded, so I can follow on my reports. I can see who's opening this. I can see who's clicking on this. I can see who drops off and unsubscribes. So I can take a look. There's no reason why none of us should just let something go. If something needs to be fixed, if something needs to be improved, and we see the numbers and we know it and we don't take action, that's on us. So I'm giving you this opportunity right now to find ways for you to take action and connect the dots. So let's say your product page, your traffic is really, really low. Oh, excuse me, is strong, but the sales are low. So people are going to your page. Your blog posts are working. Your content that's driving people to your website's working, but nobody's buying. You got to take a look at your offer. Take a look at your messaging. Take a look at the call to action. Do I even understand what this product is about? Maybe that's what's going on. It's the website copy that's confusing me. Take a look at that. What if your email clicks are high? What if you're doing something really well like that? That's the other thing. It's not just about how bad things are going. What if things are going really, really good? And what if people, every time you send out an email, you get tons of people clicking on stuff. You get tons of people wanting to know. They love what you're doing. They trust you so that anytime you tell them to go here, read this, download this, they do it. Double down on what's working. Think about how in your business goal, one of your marketing goals could be, how can I rally my community who already has this enormous amount of trust in me and they're clicking on everything that I'm sharing them? How can I take this to the next level? What could I do to take their trust and to move it into this software, this product, this service, this program, this whatever with my business? See how we can take this information and use it. So let's get clarity here. Let's keep going. I want to keep moving here. I want to keep going. And I want to look at this up. And then, of course, if for those of you who have not decided to join us, the implementation planning session is on Tuesday. And we are going to really this is your chance to work with us one-on-one and to ask some questions and to really dig into how all of this, what we're doing today, applies to your business. All right. So now we've gone through this. I think by now you get the idea that I'm talking about. This marketing review is more than just you looking at how many people are following you on TikTok. That this marketing review is not just about looking at a whole bunch of numbers. It's about looking at decision metrics that mean something to your business, how your business gets your customers, how your business makes money. Those are your decision metrics. And so I gave you some examples of decision metrics, and what I want to do is I want to get even more hands-on with this. I want to show you how you can take this data and all the stuff that you discovered. What do we do with it? I've started to give you some examples of it, and I want to get into it even deeper because I don't want you to go into this thinking that I want you to feel bad over what worked and what you weren't doing enough of, because that's not what the point of this is. It's about getting honest and just looking at this information and using it in a way that you know is going to help your business. So let's do this. What I want you to do now is take a look at those decision metrics that you've chosen, whether they're emails, whether they're websites, whether they're metrics of how many people you're talking to on LinkedIn, whatever your metrics are. That's data is telling you a story. And I want you to think about what it's telling you. I don't want you to focus in on that one, that one video that went viral or that one Instagram that got like 100 comments on it. Because that's great. And it's good to indicate which ones did really well. But I want you to look beyond what was the winners and the losers. What I want you to see are the patterns. I want you to look for the patterns because the strategy is not built on being viral. It's built on this repeated behavior from your content creation and your community's engagement. Look for the patterns. Look for understanding of what's working and what do we repeat. What do we focus on? Double down on content types. It's amazing that every time I post up something with a selfie of mine, I get more engagement. Guess what? Go take a whole bunch of selfies. Um, I get more engagement and people really love it when I talk about this particular product, when I'm training and I'm showing them all these behind the scenes. Guess what we're going to do? We're going to double down on that and we're going to drive more engagement and clicks. Basically, what it's doing is it's showing you what to focus on and what to repeat. But then if you also find out that every time I do these videos about policies, something dry like that, and I just sit there like a talking head and I tell my policy information, it's not working. So guess what? We're going to remove that because it's not working. And if policy is a really important piece to your marketing, we're going to figure out a way that we can rework it to make it more exciting, to make it more interesting, to make it more relatable to people. So we want to think about what's working. And we also look at these patterns to show us what's not. Because here's the thing. Success without understanding is just luck. It's not a strategy. So when things are clicking, it's easy to keep doing what you're doing. But I want you to know why it's working. I want you to know, is this a repeatable thing or was it a one-time spike? So that one time you did that thing on Instagram and you got 100 comments on it, what was it? Was it a repeatable thing or was it a one-time spike? And if it was a repeatable thing, what systems do you need in place to sustain this, to continue repeating this and to scale it and to make it bigger and to reach more people and to see more results from it? That's what we're doing here. We want to know why. And so I'm asking you to spend some time with your data, and I'm asking you to spend some time. And the way that we spend time with our data and understand our data is by looking at these patterns. It's by looking at what's happening. It's by looking at how real people in real time are engaging with us and are interacting with us and are actually taking action, or in some cases, not taking action. So when we do this, we're scaling. We scale what works. Wins are great, but growth without intention is just you going crazy and throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing what comes up, and seeing what sticks. You have to think about how you're going to scale what's going on, what you need to automate these steps. Is there a repurposing that you need to put in place? What support do you need to keep this up without doing more? So these are questions that we're going to be asking ourselves, and this becomes part of the review, part of the plan moving forward. How are we going to continue to grow with intention? So I want you to do this as I wrap up today, thinking about how you can take this data, this information that you have, and turn it into action steps, turn it into an action plan that you can use. So I want you to think about this. I want you to think, if anything, just look at first quarter of next year. What are 3 marketing moves that you want to do? And I want you to put them on a timeline. I want this to happen on this month, this to happen this month, this to happen, or I want all of this to happen by the end of the next 3 months. And keep it simple and keep it doable. And what I want you to do is I want you to make it intentional and purposeful. Because what's going to happen is when you have the goal that you're going to reach at the end of it, you now allow yourself to create these small little movements every single week. And this and an inch and an inch and an inch at the first week, you could turn around and you've gone a foot. By the end of the second week, you've gone 2 feet. By the end of the third week, you could keep going. By the end of the month, you've gone a mile. So keep going, tiny little steps. Each little piece helps. And when you turn around at the end of the month, you're going to be so much further ahead than where you were if you had not started taking these tiny little steps. So when we think about our 3 marketing moves, I want you to think about it from this place in the next, for first quarter of 2026. I want your 3 marketing moves to be this. What can you improve? What can you tweak or fix? And what can you do more of? All right. So what can you focus on? That's the weakest link. So we've already talked about the good things and how we can scale them up. But what about the things that are the weakest links? The things that you are finding that aren't working for you, the things that are causing a bottleneck, right? Your email welcome messages aren't working. Refresh those email marketing work. People aren't moving past your social media posts onto your website. You need a stronger call to action. Tell me why. Why do I need to move off of Instagram to your website? What's the point of that? I'm not getting a lot of website traffic. I need to create some more SEO keyword based content, maybe write some blog posts, rework those pages on your website to get more keyword information. Look for opportunities for more people to come to your website. This is what we're thinking about. We think about this, and this is one of the marketing moves I want you to think about. And how can you repeat the success with intention? Turn your top performing posts into a paid ad. You can do something like that. You could create a lead magnet from a top post, and that's going to help you grow your email list. I have done this all the time, and it is enormous help. I've also done this one. I've turned a piece of content into a mini series or video episodes. So there's things that we can be doing with our marketing moves and how we can continue to improve. We can fix on something and we can keep what's going here. So let's bring all this together here. You've got this data. And I want you to pull this into the 3 things. Do more of this, do less of this, remove this, or tweak it, update it, fix it. And the third thing is, based on what your customers need, what's something new that you're going to do? These are 3 marketing moves that I want you to think about. And when I want you to think about it from that place, what are you going to do more of? How can you scale something? What can you do to make it better? What can you do less of? What do you need to fix? What do you need to tweak? What do you need to remove? What do you need to add in? What's a new thing, based upon my customers' needs? What's going on with the customers, going on with the economy? Going back to the very beginning, the person that I talked about who might be looking for a new client base. Maybe that's what it is. It's not that your customers that you're currently working with don't need you. Maybe you need to grow a different customer base. That could be the next move. So I want you to think about how you can pull all of these pieces and parts together. And this becomes your roadmap. You turn these insights that you've learned from your decision metrics into action steps. And then I want you to take that information and think about first quarter and choose one thing that you can improve, one thing that you can fix, you can tweak, you can amplify, or even remove, and one thing that you can try and do differently with intentional steps. And put all of this together and turn this into your marketing plan. If anything, at least first quarter. If you're new to this and you've never done this before, at least try to do this for first quarter. Take this information, pull it all together, and see if you can create something for first quarter. And if you can do that and you can move through it, then you can just repeat this process for every single quarter. But I'm telling you, the more you actually start to look at this information and you look at it differently, in this way, this is how we start to move into the new year with intention and purpose. And we actually can start to see some real growth in our business. All right. So I think I've got somebody here. I don't know if anybody has any questions or anything that you wanted to bring up today. I know there was a lot, a lot that we went through today. I know for those of you who are joining on the implementation session next week, I've given you a lot to think about and a lot to sit with. So now you understood at the very beginning when I was telling you, I need you to marinate in this a little bit. And that's, you know what, the same goes for everybody else. And for those of you who won't be joining us on the implementation session, very sorry that you won't. Um, we will miss you. But if you do this on your own, because you can do this on your own, spend some time with this. Spend some time going through each one of those sections and really thinking about how it directly is connected to your business. I see a message here. Oh, Melody's asking me, can you recommend an app where we can organize our content calendar? Ooh, that's a lot. But yeah, there's a lot of you know what? I'm gonna have a conversation with you, Melody, about that. Um, because before I do, I'd have to ask you a whole bunch of questions. So before we can do that, let me get that from you. Okay, gotcha. Okay, I'll talk with you about that personally. Um, all right. So thank you. I don't see anything else. Content calendar. I think it's waiting on me to. This helped refine goals. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Thank you so much, Kate. Yeah, it did. So sit with this, guys. Think about it. And I'm going to wrap this up today, especially for those of you who are here with me in person. And here we go. And I'm going to thank you all for joining me today, especially for those of you who have been in the community for years and years. And I know what you do. You guys like to watch this. You guys like to watch this on the replay. And you know what? If you have any questions on the replay, for those of you watching on the replay, you can actually, because this is on YouTube as well, you can put your comments down below if you want to, and just tag me, and I will get back to you as quick as I can. So if you do have any questions about anything, feel free to tag me below in the comments, and I will get back to you. But so far, I appreciate your time and your energy, and I love that you're here in the community. I just wanted to thank you so much for being here in the community, and I am looking forward to doing so much more in 2026 and looking forward to joining us. And oh, before I can't believe I didn't this, the Marketing Strategy Collective. Don't forget, we are just a few more weeks left of the founders group. If you want the founders rate, you can lock that in right now. If not, the prices will go up next year and we will be getting some extra really cool things that are going to be happening in 2026. So wait and you will learn more then. All righty then. Thank you so much, everybody, and you have a good rest of your day. Thanks for joining me.